Welcome back to Mad Shit Talking Podcast. I'm your host, Mylan Daniel, and I'm here with my special guest.
Darnell Holston, aka Gunny Holston. You're
And today we're gonna be talking about being a leader, being a dad, cause he is a dad of four.
I do have four
So,
kids.
just tell me a little bit about growing up and how your father was involved in your life. And
So growing up, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Growing up, it was mostly a single mom. My dad was there a little bit, and then now he had some drug issues and everything like that. Uh, but he would come around every once in a while, and then later on in my life, when I was in high school, start acting out a little bit. Got into a lot of trouble. Like got into some wild things. We'll just keep it at that. And I got kicked out of my mom's house because I had summer school. Yeah, I told a cop I beat his ass, and I got this crazy fine. I got summer school and all this other stuff. And my mom was I told her basically, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to summer school anymore. She was just like, well, then get out. And I was like, all right. And I was gonna figure it out from there. I moved in with my pops. From there, I grew up real fast because it was basically he was my dad, yeah, but we were more like roommates.
yeah,
So it was hey, if you're gonna live here, hey, big dog, you're gonna have to pay bills, you're gonna have to get a job, this and that. And that's when me and my dad really got real close. I always loved my dad and everything like that, even when I was younger, even though he wasn't always there, but he was somewhat present. But once I grew up and I got into high school and everything like that, he taught me how to be a man, how to take care of myself and everything like that. So I do thank him for that. And now my dad is one of my biggest supporters, one of my best friends. And yeah, it was cool. It was crazy.
So how would you say? Cause I can't say the same for myself. My dad, whether he want to agree or disagree, he wasn't there the way I needed him to be in my life. And how would you say him being there the way he was? What did that teach you as maybe even as a dad or just as a person?
Um, as a person, I would say it taught me, like I said earlier, it taught me how to grow up fast. So I had to know hey, you need a job. You need to be able to cook. You need to be able to clean. You need to basically have life skills.
Yeah.
Um, as a father, that was my one thing I always said. I'll always be in my kid's life. Being in the military, it sucks. Deployments and stuff like that. The UDP we just came back from. It was my second deployment, and my first one when I was on the MU, I was away from my son for 8 months, and it was hard. It wasn't really hard on him because he didn't really understand it. He was maybe 3, so mom my wife would just tell him hey, dad went to work, but this time he was 9. It was 9 or 10, and he understood fully. It was crazy, but him somewhat being there, it taught me hey, I have to be in my son's life. You need a young man needs a father in his life so that way he can grow. He knows how to be a man and everything like that. Just recently, my son he called my wife. Was hey mom, is dad home? It's yeah. So okay, and then it's all right, love you, bye. And then he calls me. He's dad, can you keep a secret? I'm just yeah. He's how good are you at keeping secrets? I'm I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And he tells me he got a little girlfriend or whatever, some girl that he likes or whatever. So I didn't have that growing up. I ain't have my father to go to tell him hey dad, I like this girl, what should I do? This, that, and the third. So that's one thing that I'm pretty sure my pops would have appreciated if he had a different walk of life. But seeing as how the path that he chose and what he did, he missed out on some great things. But at the same time, now that he's here, he sees me flourishing and being a good father to my kids.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's
Yeah, that's something I never got a chance to, I ain't never tell my dad about this girl I like. And then I don't know if that just made me a little more like I keep like try to keep stuff to myself, even though like me and my mom are very, very, very close.
Yeah.
I still like I don't know. It's a little different. It's a little different telling your mom, and
Yeah.
like me telling like my dad or like my uncle or a man what it is. So, but how big of a impact? Cause I mean you went into it a little bit, but how big of an impact would you say? Not only having a father there for a son, especially, I feel like it's more important, but just a child in general.
I would say like just having a father figure there is like huge. Like I got 3 little girls, so like that's one thing. Like I said, like we went into it with my son. Like it's big for him, but also like it's the same for a little girl. Like little girl needs a dad in her life. Like she needs someone to to basically be a role model for like a man that she's looking for, or at least like know like hey like this is how a man should act. Like I shouldn't be going for no dude that's like all messed up. He ain't got no goals. He ain't got no ambitions or anything like that. Like it's it's a huge thing. Like having both parents is definitely dope. But like I feel as if a lot of fathers don't get a lot of recognition that they need because or that they deserve. Cause like don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from the mother at all.
Yeah.
Cause that's a crazy job. But like being a father, especially for multiple kids, whether it's one kid, whether it's your kid, whether I mean you playing a stepfather role, like that's a huge part in the kid's life. Like kids need like they need both figures. Like they need a mother, they need someone who's loving, who's caring, who's nurturing, but they also need like a father, someone
Yeah,
who's like
that's what I was about to say. Like I've seen online a lot. Like they say, like mothers, can teach them how to be a boy, and then like the father teach them how to be a man.
exactly.
Cause there's some things, and I know it. Cause I grew up with 2 moms, so I mean they not taking anything from them. They taught me very well, but I feel like it's some things. I did have male figures in my life, but it's just some things like that a mom can can't teach you that a father can.
Yeah, and I agree with that.
And
Like
some things you just like take a little different.
yeah, cause like I could say one thing to my son, and he'll just take it and be like, ah, yeah, Pop said that. Like that's gold. But like my wife could say the same thing and be like, oh, mom's just saying that, like
Yeah.
type shit. So it's definitely like one of those things where it's a double edged sword, but it's like it's needed. Like you need that father figure. You need like a male figure in your life. Well, you need that father figure in your life so that way you got like just that more or less secondary reinforcement, especially for a young man. Like so that way, like you said, to teach him how to be a man.
Yeah. I feel like, I seen this little TikTok. It was like, when you catch a belt from your mom, he like, mom swung the belt and he called it. He's like, "Oh, you hit me."
Yeah, right. It gets
So
crazy. She's calling everyone.
And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm about to go tell your dad." I
Yeah.
think it's like that second reinforcement. Like the dad is like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing. Like my son, this dude, he's almost my size. He's 10 years old. So like, I never had like that. Everyone's like, oh, everyone tries to test their pops type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never had that with my pops. Like my pops got out of line one time with my mom, and like we got into it. But yeah, I mean that just made us that like that bettered our bond.
Yeah.
But like, if I ever got to discipline my son for lack of better terms, if I'm whooping my son's ass and he go to throw a punch, I'm like, all right, oh, it's like that now? Okay, all right, bet. All right, no, I'm not whooping your ass now. All right, come on, let's go to the garage. Now we about to get it in. Like, we about to go box it out.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely, it's crazy, like, being a father and, like, especially with a son and stuff like that, you gotta, like, know how to be, like, a friend, but also, like, still be a dad. It, like, kind of fades into the leadership thing, like with Junior Marines and everything like that.
Yeah, well, talking about that, how is it like, you a E7 gunnery sergeant of Marines?
Crazy.
You got promoted in Okie.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
I appreciate it.
And how does it how is leading Marines? How's it the same and different, like being a dad?
So I would say it's the same because like just like with my son, like so I had my son at 20, so like I had to grow up fast. Like I had to like I couldn't just always be young childish, young and wild and stuff like that. I had to like be a father. Took some time. Don't get me wrong. Like I made my mistakes. No one's perfect. But like it's the same with like junior Marines and everything like that. Like when you got junior Marines, like you gotta know how to. Like a lot of leaders, I'm not even gonna say leaders. A lot of the staff NCOs and older Marines, like they just know one style of leadership, and that's do as I say.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like my biggest thing is you need to know that person, and like not cater to them, but you gotta know how to lead them.
Yeah.
Like so.
Because I think everybody needs to be disciplined, like different ways. Like hoop is different than nice.
Exactly.
Like you can't talk to hoop and nice the same way.
Exactly. So it's like, just like different styles of leadership and everything. Like, and I learned a lot about that. Like just being an NCO, like just being in the Marine Corps, seeing how different people move. But it's like you gotta be able to. I don't want to say cater to that Marine, because that's like I'm not catering to no one. Like that's out of line. But you got to know how to talk to them, just like you said. Like you gotta be able to be like, hey, like I need you to do this. Like some Marines, you could just tell them, like, hey, yo, go do this, and they'll be like, all right, bet, no questions asked. And then like other Marines, like you kind of gotta explain a little bit more. You be like, hey, I need you to go do this, and then it's like, oh, why I gotta go do it? This, that, and the third. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I'll explain, I'll tell you why, because I like to know why I'm doing stuff too. But at the same time, you only gonna get about 3 whys. Like, you only gonna get like 2 or 3. Like, wow, hey, you know what, man? Go do that shit before I go do it before I make you do something worse. Like, just go.
Yeah, that's some people do. I think I be asking why sometimes, you know, because I feel it's obviously, or sometimes you like if they're like clean up the office, you ain't gotta ask, just clean it up.
Yeah.
But in like some instances, like I think sometimes leaders are like higher up staff. I don't think they understand how the person is saying it, or they perceive it in a different way. Like they're not asking why as like to be disrespectful, but just to more like understand why they're doing it, or like why we had to do it this way. Why is the process XYZ instead of ABC?
That's definitely justified. Like I said, it's just like some people they just want to know why. Like I've had to tell some Marines to do some shitty stuff, like some real shitty stuff. But one of my biggest things is like, especially being a leader, like, and this is like from being a corporal, like I'm not going to tell a Marine to do something I wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So like there was this one time they had to clean porter shitters, and so I'm like, all right, bet. I mean, I got in there, I cleaned the porter shitter. Like I'm telling the Marines, like, yo, we got to do this. But then it was like, yeah, like you gotta like put your hand in the fucking porter shitter. I say, you want me to put my hand where someone else shit and piss at? And they're just like, yeah, like we gotta make sure everything is good and this, that, and the third. I'm like, nigga, no. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
like,
no.
It's just like, so
that's
like,
disgusting.
Yeah, like that's like one thing. Like that's one thing I always like stay true to. Like I'm not gonna tell a Marine to do some like outlandish shit. Hey, yo, go cut the grass with these scissors.
Yeah.
Like I've had to do shit like that, but like I'm not going to, because I know there's better ways. Motherfucker, we got lawnmowers. Like what are you talking about? Like
it's
that's just like that's crazy. Like we got lawnmowers. If we ain't got lawnmowers, I know we got weed eaters. So I'm not gonna tell a Marine to go do something crazy, or go tell a Marine to do something dumb. Like we get a lot of like dumb tasks put on us, and I'm not gonna tell a Marine to do something in a stupid way if there's a better way to do it.
Yeah.
Like you feel me? Like a lot of leaders, hey baby doll, you choking me. Like a lot of leaders, like they don't want to go against the grain.
Yeah.
And like, man, we need that shit. Like you gotta be, as a leader, like you gotta be able to say no. You gotta be able to like push back and be like, man, that's dumb.
Be like more open minded, and like everything doesn't have to go the way it used to.
Yeah.
Because everything changes. The Marine Corps changes. The world is changing. It's not the same as it was 20 years
That
ago.
shit's facts.
So you can't do the same thing we was doing 20 years ago, or we gonna get left behind.
Exactly. Baby, can you go see what's going on? Appreciate it. That's one of my kids. That's the clumsy one. She probably fell.
But
it's definitely like it's a mentality thing, man. Like I'm 30 years old, but like I'm still like I especially after coming off recruiting duty, like I had to be connected with the youth. Like I had to know what they like all this other stuff. Like I said, I'm 30. I'm still a child though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people see me like they're like, oh, it's Gunny hosting this down the third. I'm like, man, I am a baby. Like y'all don't understand. Like I'm super young for real.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's wild that like, not only growing up fast, I got promoted fast. So it's just like, I'm still somewhat in tune with like the younger Marines and everything like that. But man, it's just shit's just crazy.
So what would you say you enjoy the most about like being in a leadership position and like, you know, you being staff NCO and then, you know, S4, we got all these people for the like S4 logistics for all the civilians, but like what would you say you enjoy the most about having like all the Marines under you, you know?
I think for me, it's just seeing like different walks of life, like seeing the different walks of life, seeing how like different people like do stuff and everything like that, and just like having like such a huge impact on the Marines. Hey, hold on real quick, y'all. I gotta pour some water. Hold up. But for real, it's just like having like, could you stop, crazy? Having such a huge impact. I wish y'all could have seen that. That was crazy. Having like a huge impact on like someone's life. Like, just knowing that, hey, what I did, like the words that I spoke, the way that I talked to them, and just like my presence has like that big of an impact on someone's life. It's like that's super dope.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go back to recruiting as well. Like I put like damn near 40 people in the Marine Corps, and like most of them I still talk to this day. Like one of the kids, he was in our unit. Yeah, he just EAS not too long ago. When I first met him, when I first recruited him, I was a sergeant. Like he's getting out now. He's like, damn man, you a gunny, like that shit's crazy. So it's like just having a huge impact on people, like by just being me, like, and just like being me and like not succumbing to that robot mentality, and like knowing that like, yo, I'm a pretty dope dude for real. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm making changes, I'm making impacts on lives. So it's definitely dope. Like it's cool.
I think like definitely like leaders having that personality. I think especially you and Gunny Jean, like y'all probably like the two leaders that have like the most impact on my life, just cause like y'all don't make everything like a robot, like you gotta do this cause I told you, and you don't make everything seem like forced.
Yeah.
Like you're forcing us to do anything, and when it's like that, I feel like people are more susceptible to like, you know, helping out more.
Yeah.
Like if you need help, I'm sure anybody in the S4 don't have any problem. Whatever it is, we wouldn't have any problem, because it's like it's deeper than just, you know, you being Gunny hosting. It's more than that.
And that's like a that's like a huge thing. Like I talk to a lot of the higher ups. Even when I was a staff sergeant, when I first got to the unit, this is my first infantry unit, and the way that they do shit here is crazy. Like they just like, hey monkey, please, thank you. So the way that they do shit is crazy. Like their leadership style is wild, but it's like that's their culture.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, I tell you to do something, you do it, no questions asked. But like, just talking to some of the leaders, like, man, you catch more flies with honey. No, that's not the same. something or another. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Like, but basically, like, if you're a human being, if I talk to you like an adult,
Yeah.
then you're, like you said, like, you're gonna be more willing to do the stuff that I do, but do the stuff that I ask of you. But if I'm like if I'm a dick all the time, or if I come in and y'all like, oh, good morning, Gunny, I'm like, fuck y'all, like,
Yeah.
fuck out of my face, like,
Yeah.
then like y'all are gonna be like, yo, fuck that dude, like, I'm not gonna help him, like, and that's the thing, like, being in the Marine Corps and like just knowing, like, I don't know if war's coming up. The way that the shit that's going on the news, you never know.
Yeah.
But it's like I'm thinking more of I want to be a mentor to this person. I want to be like someone that this person will come to no matter what, like someone that they look up to. But at the same time, if we're out on a battlefield or some shit like that, I don't want them to be like, yo, when we go out there, fuck this dude. Like
Yeah.
fuck him. If something happens
Yeah.
to him, like, fuck that. Like, I want them to be like, I want to be one of the people where they're like, hey, like, I mean, I know that, like, because I'm a poke shit.
Yeah.
We're fucking, like, if we're out there, like, doing some shit and they're just like, oh, hey, like, we got Gunny Holster with us. Like, we got to make sure that, like, he's tracking on what's going on and this, that, and the third. Like, so it's definitely one of those things where, like, I don't like it when people don't like me. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't. But it's that human factor of just being a fucking person.
Yeah.
Like, and a
I
lot
think
of people,
everybody, like, at some point, everybody wanted to be liked. It maybe not as you get older, but at some point, like, everybody wanted to feel like,
yeah,
you know,
That's-
wanted.
that's definitely a fact. Cause back in high school and even as a junior Marine, like, I always wanted everyone to like me. I just wanted to be like that dude. Like, oh yeah, like, yeah, me and Holston's cool. But then, like, as you get older, you're just like, man, I don't give a fuck. Like,
You realize everybody ain't gotta like you.
Yeah.
And guess what? Everybody don't pay your bills.
Exactly, right? Facts. Like, if you ain't paying my bills, like, yo, what the fuck is we talking about? Like, I could care less if you don't like me. Like, and that's like, that's just one of those things, man. Like, I've had people above me who were like, I hated them. They hated me. Like, we all know the story. Like, we know the story. So, like, I'm not going to drop names or anything crazy like that. But, like, man, me and Cuz almost went to blows. Like, it was crazy. But at the same time, like, just fucking Marine Corps shit, man. It's shit crazy. It's just crazy. But yeah, man, it's just wild out there, man.
So, what would you say is some of like your biggest goals, or maybe even some of the things you think you need to work on as a leader and as a dad?
So, I would say biggest goals right now, I just want to make it to 20. And that's it. I want to make it to 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, get that retirement. I mean, so that way me and my kids can, like, sit comfortably. Me, my kids, my wife, like, we're all sitting comfortably. Everything is cool. Some of my biggest challenges, though I love going to the gym, I hate running. I need to go out there and put my feet to the pavement. But, like, challenges, just, like, work-wise, is probably, I need to work on definitely public speaking. Like, my public speaking is a little shitty, but I need to work on, like, working with officers more and shit like that. That's like Marine Corps style. Like, being a father, I'm still learning. I'm doing this shit for like 10 and a half years. Like, I would say just being there more. Like, just being there more for my son, being there more for my kids, and like for my wife. Like, just being a better all around person. Because, like, though, like, my wife, she tells me, she's like, oh, man, you're an amazing husband, you're an amazing father, everything like that. Every man who's a father, who's a husband, boyfriend, like, every man who has, like, someone else in their life that's significant to them, they know that you can always be better. Like, so that's, like, one of my biggest things. Like, I don't want to be perfect, but I want to be, like, damn near. Like, I want to be real close, so that way, like my son looks at me and he's like telling his friends, like, yeah, man, my dad is dope. Like, my dad is cool as hell. And like, same with my daughters. Like, my daughters, once they God forbid, not God forbid, but like God help me, like when they grow up, like it's gonna be. They're like, yeah, man, don't do nothing crazy because my dad's wild. Like my dad is crazy, but also I want to like be cool with like they little boyfriends or whatever, like boyfriends or girlfriends, whatever. It's 2023, whatever's going on in the world. Like I want to be cool and be able to like sit down and talk to them and everything like that. Like I want to be like for my kids, I want to be a father, but at the same time, I want to be a best friend.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, definitely challenges. Definitely, I just want to be more involved, be a better father.
That's understanding. Well, that's the end of it. You know, definitely, I'll definitely bring you on here again. We talk about something not as serious. I don't talk about Ja Morant. Shoot, you know, it's a parade inside my city.
That boy crazy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share. Hopefully y'all made it to the end. You know, probably didn't. Whatever.
Hey man, look, my man got some good content out there, man. Y'all better check it out. My man's spitting real facts.
Yeah. First episode came in strong. It was about HIV and STDs. You know, don't nobody really know. I feel like not a lot of people in the youth know about it, but you know, go check the video out. I got a certified nurse practitioner on there talking real stuff. She know what she talking about. So, you know, I got good sources. But yeah, till next time. I'm out. Peace.
Till next time, y'all.